Yeah, believe it or not, we actually attempted to talk about Britney Spears yesterday. She just ended her court battle over her conservatorship settlement with her dad, Jamie Spears. And unfortunately, she's going to have to pay out $2 million to pay for his legal fees. And she's not getting anything. Yeah. So now I feel like TMZ has launched a full-on like hit piece campaign against Britney. Because first, what I see from them yesterday is psychiatrist weighs in, needs new conservatorship, medication ASAP. So TMZ interviews, or I guess TMZ has a doctor that they interview when a celebrity is going through a breakdown. And they interviewed this doctor who said that if he were Britney Spears' doctor, he would force her to take psychiatric medications, which is kind of a crazy thing to say after we've heard about like handlers like Harley Pasternak that exist in Hollywood. This is literally Harley Pasternak's best buddy. I'm sure they hang out on weekends. So like, let's listen to him just saying the quiet part out loud.
What say you about what we're hearing now about Britney? Does this surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all, because the conservatorship was there for a reason. And even though, like you said, it might not have been, with the right person, the actual process needs to be in place, because when you have a mental illness to this degree, you need that kind of structure, supervision, and most importantly, to take your medication. And I think that's probably what's happened here. This is a no medication situation.
Why do you say that?
Well, because of the erratic behavior, the manicky spending of money, recklessness, destroying people around her. No one feels safe around her. No one can control her. She's out of control on many levels.
Doctor, so what is the answer then? How do you treat a patient that has those sort of issues?
Well, these kinds of situations
you pump
run
them
into
full
a
of
wall
drugs,
eventually.
obviously.
Either she'll hurt herself, she might hurt someone else, or she can be 5150 because she's not being able to take care of herself. And any of those situations will push her to a place where then medication can be given to her against her will.
You tell me if I'm wrong here. I don't see a world in which a judge would put Britney under another conservatorship because of the public outcry there was in the first case, whether it was misplaced or not. I just don't see that happening.
Well, I understand that, but at the end of the day, hopefully a judge would make the decision in the best interest of that patient. And if that's what she requires, even for a temporary amount of time, that's what she would require.
He wants to be the conservator.
I think it's the temporary amount of time she's terrified about, because a little time turns into a lot of time real quickly. Yeah. When it's like, oh, we got it under control. Maybe we can get it under just a little bit more control.
Well, in 2007, temporary was temporary, and then it wasn't.
That could even be made.
It's always temporary until it's not.
Getting out from under the conservatorship was a horrible thing for Britney Spears, as we sit back and now obviously have watched what's happened?
Absolutely. Hindsight's 20/20, but look at it. She slowly is unraveling. And it was in place, and she wasn't unraveling. She might not have been happy, but she was stable.
What would you do if you were taking care of Britney Spears? What would be the first thing you'd do today to get her
They just know what he's going to say.
Medication. Put it in her. If she doesn't want to take it, I would inject it in her.
Wow, that's
you were
crazy. There's no question in your mind.
No, she needs medication. She's out of control.
That is crazy that he just said that out loud. Like, he's not sugarcoating it at all. Like, he's just, yes, inject medications into Britney Spears against her will. This is the move. Like, how? What?
Oh boy.
In front of thousands of people, he said this, and rightfully, people were upset. So one person said, leave it to TMZ to stoop as low as having a Hollywood psychiatrist, he is licensed, by the way, who has never met Britney to psychoanalyze her. This is 100% a smear campaign. What ethical psychiatrist would medicate someone based on Instagram posts and tabloids saying you'd force drugs into her system whether she likes it or not? Your license needs to be revoked.
Well, this is where we get into the Hollywood aspect of all of this, which is that he's just Monday morning quarterbacking. Him saying this is not the same. Like, it's TMZ. This is for entertainment purposes, even if it is his actual opinion.
But the crazy part of it is that he is a licensed psychiatrist, not just that, a pediatric psychiatrist who works with thousands of children. And I saw, granted, take this with a grain of salt, this is from a Britney account. They said this doctor, Charles Sophie, who claims Britney needs a new conservatorship, was allegedly responsible for the deaths of multiple children. The reason they're saying this, I looked into this. This doctor, Charles Sophie, he's been maintaining a public presence, doing interviews with TMZ, doing interviews with Dr. Drew and other talk shows. He's counseling the Real Housewives. He's obsessed with fame. He's been doing this since at least 2011.
Yeah.
And it's been interfering with what his actual job is, which is, at least at the time of this article in LA Times, the medical director for LA County's Child Welfare Agency, where he is responsible for the mental health needs of nearly 20,000 foster children. Some people believe that because he's distracted with keeping a public presence, that his roles have overlapped and he is responsible for the fatalities of multiple children under his supervision. So I'm not saying that he is or isn't, but that's the narrative that I saw. And then second thing I saw from TMZ, which was totally unfounded, seemingly, Britney Spears completely dysfunctional and in danger of going broke. And they're saying this because what? She has to pay out $2 million?
I don't know if I buy that she's just sold, like her book just sold 2 million copies and she's going to get royalties on that.
Yeah.
I don't buy that she's in danger of going broke anytime soon. I also don't buy for a second that they would have an inside track on that would necessarily be one. Like if she's cutting everyone off and she's not talking to anyone, who are the people that are giving you this information, right?
The inside
sources.
TMZ always has the inside sources, right? So they're saying our sources say Britney is completely dysfunctional. She has radical mood swings that are shocking, we're told. And now that she's under no supervision,
look,
she has lots of freedom.
Is she paying?
And she's not protected anymore.
Her bills are paid. She's doing stupid stuff in front of a camera in front of her house, in her house, you know, on her Samsung Galaxy S4 that always looks like crap, and she's acting generally weird, but for the most part, weird isn't a reason to force medication on someone. Now, if she is bipolar, is there a strong diagnosis? I don't remember. Is she diagnosed with a psychiatric condition that she is refusing to take medication for?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Right? So if that's true, then, you know, is that not her right to choose not to take them if she is paying her bills and functioning in society? Weird behavior is not functioning. Not functioning is your car gets repossessed because you forgot to pay your mortgage.
Right.
Not functioning is you're getting in. Actually, I think she did get pulled over again recently.
She did.
I think it was like expired tags or something.
I thought that was Gisele Bündchen.
No, that was funny too though because she cried. That was because she was trying to get away from paparazzi, and then she got pulled over and got a ticket and was saying and she was like crying, and all I could think is like, you're like a famous supermodel. I think you can afford the ticket. But what she was upset about was the fact that like she got chased by paparazzi, which caused her to speed, which gave her the ticket. But like,
okay, Princess Diana.
None of the things that I see here, like, and people are saying like it's ruined her life. I'm like, first of all, we're seeing minute, pieces of this woman's life, and a manic lifestyle does not mean that you put a random person in charge of you unless she's a threat to those around her.
There are a lot of unhinged celebrities out there who seem to be out of control, but no calls for their conservatorship.
Is she paying, I said car mortgage. Is she paying her car payment? Is the mortgage on her house being paid monthly?
There's no way that it's not. I mean, she does have a net worth of $60 million. Yeah. Remember that.
Auto pay on the bills, and
she has people dealing with it. But they say in TMZ, we're told Britney has been spending a fortune and is in real danger of going broke. Our sources say she's been going to French Polynesia, staying at the Brando, spending close to $1 million each trip between private jets, hotels, staff, etc. Goes every month or two. We're told she also goes to Hawaii almost monthly by herself, taking a private jet, staying in the presidential suite at the Four Seasons, and dropping about $350,000 each trip. She can't afford this. She had $60 million when the conservatorship ended, and she is now where the conservatorship started, in danger of going broke. And as we reported, she has paid north of $4 million to her own attorney.
Again, fiscal irresponsibility does not mean that you inject her with drugs and force her to do something against her will.
Why does Harvey Levin, hate Britney so much? Like, why is he? I don't know. It seems like TMZ has it out for her, kind of. Like what has changed since 2007? Really?
And I think the best thing she could do would be get the hell out of California or get the hell out of these places. Move someplace.
Keep your Instagram deleted permanently.
Get off social media. Move somewhere quiet and live your life again.
Or join the circus.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong about all this, but I don't see this type of thing as like even manic behavior unless you're at risk of harming other people. I don't see this as like people mentioned the knife dance, which is supposedly not real, right? Supposedly those were prop knives. Even then, I'm like, being stupid isn't it does not mean you inject somebody against their will.
No.
In the documentary,
I think I've seen a lot of people calling for Kanye to get put in a conservatorship too, which would, I believe, have just as disastrous results for him.
Yeah.
But I think he's worth more than Britney, right?
Yes, he is. He's worth more
by quite a lot.
Yeah.
Which only gives people more incentive to want to control and drug him if that's what they wanted to do.
I guess, I know it's a simplistic worldview for me, but like in the absence of like a form that says she suffers from this diagnosed condition, I'm just not gonna ever be for the state or any individual, especially like a family member who financially benefits from doing it to you, that's proven themselves to be untrustworthy. Like that's maybe
just put Charles Sophie in charge.
Maybe the greatest tragedy of all of this is it proves that when that much money is involved and you have family of low moral fiber, that there's really nobody you can trust, and that's the real tragedy, right? It's that there's nobody that could come into her life that could help her do this without some type of court order or forced behavior.
All of this could be made up, though, because a different anonymous source went to Entertainment Weekly and said Britney is not broke. She could benefit from being more careful with her cash. For over a decade, other people were in charge of her bank accounts. Every purchase had to be reported to the court, even if it was just a pack of gum. But now she's on her own. She is at the point of recoupment with her $15 million publishing deal and earns very significant royalties for her book. Sold more than 2 million copies. So TMZ's reports are grossly exaggerated.
Imagine if she just released did a thing called one song a year, independently published.
It's all or nothing.
Made
for her,
one song every year and used that as financial backup, with
a voice double.
Yeah,
too. Here's Tim's take. I just wanted to add. He said, I love how the Free Britney thing just destroyed her life. And then Matt Walsh quote tweeted and said, I said at the time that this would happen, and I got ripped to shreds for it. A bunch of idiots got caught up in a hashtag campaign to free a dysfunctional, self-destructive, mentally ill woman from a conservatorship that had been put in place to stop her from destroying herself. Now she's destroying herself. Anyone with an IQ above 40 could see this coming.
My question isn't whether they saw it coming. My question is whether first of all, the conservatorship was put in place by somebody who was mistreating her father, right?
Allegedly, yes.
Mistreating her, or at least being irresponsible.
Yeah.
We're all going to see this from a view that's not even optimal anyways, because none of us know the inside details about what's going on here. And if she was just a celebrity who had never been put under a conservatorship and just acted weird, Doja Cat does that all the freaking time. Nobody tries to 5150 Doja Cat.
Is it because she's younger?
I guess she posts ridiculous, weird videos all the time. Britney is just boomerang it.
Britney kind of was like the trailblazer for being publicly unhinged, because now it's just considered normal. Nobody blinks an eye. But yeah, that was Britney's doing. I think it's not fair to say she was destroying herself before the conservatorship, because she was truly psychologically a different person. Now she is the unhinged person they accused her of being all those years ago.
Yep.
That's the unfortunate thing. And I think that it's not lack of medication that she's acting like this. It's that she was overloaded with medications
I saw sketch
for
therapy.
way too long.
Sketch therapy also said she's on drugs. She needs more drugs, not less. Look, I can't confirm that, but erratic behavior does obviously smell of drug use, but I can't know that. I can't know that for
no
sure.
one can.
Like, unless she's ending up in the drunk tank or getting pulled over with, vials of drugs and stuff
And
like that.
hasn't
I can't know that. But erratic behavior, one or the other. Look, I guess maybe my unsophisticated worldview isn't right here, but
Some people are actually crazy.
She's got money. She can spend her money how she wants, and making a crazy Instagram video and dancing with knives does not mean you force drugs into her. And anybody who saw the way things went before means that she would be rightly weary of anyone coming into her life and saying, allow me to be the one to take care of you.
Well, that's why I was immediately suspicious of the ex that she was recently seen with, Paul Solis, I believe his name was, the felon. Yeah. Just anyone who's involved in her life, I'm immediately side-eyeing them. But it still seems like such an incredibly hellish and empty life that she's living with no friends or no one she can trust. And she's just spiraling in her mansion with endless money to spend, but no one to be with. And it's just really sad what's happened to her. And I genuinely hope that she ends up okay. And if she is on drugs, I hope that she gets clean. But I don't know that, and no one actually knows that. They're just, preaching about it as if they do.
There's a lot of celebrities we could talk about who have weird behavior. Madonna does weird shit all the time.
Nobody calls for Madonna to be in a conservatorship. What's that about?
I call her to be put into a convent so I don't have to look at her in those clothes. But that's just
or in prison. Honestly, that would be just.
There's a believe it or not, guys, there's a whole market for people who are crazy and do crazy stuff online. Maybe she's just bad.
How about Cheeseball Guy? They didn't put Cheeseball Guy in a conservatorship.
Maybe the thing is that Britney's just so good at it.
They're just jealous.
The
haters are just jealous. Britney's looking gorgeous, and the haters are just jealous.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media, and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.